Welcome back to A1 Your Hero, and this is Michelle, and I'm A1 Your Hero, and I'm 27, and
I'm 26.
alright, the title of this video is going to be in a relationship with someone who has a child by someone else, or maybe you're thinking about it. Alright, so here it goes. So basically, you get into a relationship, alright, with a girl, like, high school, 18, 21, she's young, or a woman, someone who's older, 30, something like that, and who already has a child by someone else. So here's what to think about, okay, and here's what to watch out for. Alright, so putting the child support on you, Mr. Nice Guy, the person who decides to help her out, or the person who likes her and thinks that, the child will forever remain that, in that father's life and not yours. Okay, well, here's the deal, okay? So she can put the child support on you by submitting pictures and videos of you that she's taken of you and her kid, okay, to court, saying that my child now sees this guy, as the father. As the father now, so therefore he pays the child support. Now, for instance, she gets that way by situations like this, where basically she gets in a relationship with a man who says he doesn't want kids. Okay?
Isn't the guy who says he doesn't want kids?
Yeah, she gets into a relationship with a man who says that he doesn't want any kids.
Okay.
Okay, so a man who says, if you have a kid on me, I'll kill myself. Or he says something like, I'll sign up for the military and die for my country. Okay, so when they actually do that and they're dead, okay, so when they actually do that, what happens is that the girl or the woman ends up with no child support. Like, basically, her plan fails, So, she goes, pounding her friend zone or looking for, Mr. Nice Guy instead, okay? So, that's just one situation. Like, the next thing is that what does happen is that a lot of the time, when you get into a relationship with a woman who already has a kid by another man, is that she does not like you for you. Like, you'll kind of notice that by the small things, because if you've been in a relationship with somebody who doesn't have a kid and they've liked you for you, they treat you differently, they're more attention on you, and blah blah blah. Okay, but so what I want to say is that she doesn't really like you for you, like she would if she didn't have a kid. What she's looking more for is a daddy figure, or a free babysitter, or free babysitting help, okay, that won't cost her any money, okay, but a babysitter that will, like, bring money to her instead. Someone to, buy her things, the baby things, and pay rent and bills, while she gets away almost without too much karma. But for a guy, okay, who has kids, if it's a woman like a woman who don't have kids, getting in a relationship with a guy who has kids, the thing is that he's going to appear single, okay? He's going to appear to be single because he does not ever have the kids around him, yet, he is paying child support, but the girl or the woman won't realize that until she gets in a relationship with him, and, he doesn't, like, buy her things, or he barely buys her any gifts, or like a person in a normal relationship would have money to go on a date, movies, blah blah blah. But since his checks are getting garnished, that's like the only time she's going to realize that. All right, what you got to say, babe?
Um. I think you said a lot of, like, pretty good points about, about things and stuff like that. In terms of, like, the difference between, like, the woman having kids and her dating a guy, and then the guy having kids, and then the woman being with a single woman or something like that doesn't have kids. I think it's very different to me with how both of them come across and stuff like that. And I would feel like, I think that for a guy, if you are thinking about getting in a relationship with a woman that has a kid or kids, I think that you really have to be careful, because like, like Amon said, you're not going to be getting a lot of the attention, and in a relationship, you want to make sure you're getting attention. And as a guy, you're in the relationship to get to know her and what she's like and stuff like that. And if she's a woman that has kids, she's may not necessarily be as nice and loving to you as she would have been if she were, single and stuff like that, which I think is, which sucks in a way.
What if she tries to get those? What do you think about a chick who in a relationship with a guy who don't got kids, but she do? What do you think about her trying to get the guy to be nice to the kids and try to get the kids? She talks to her kids and try to actually get her kids to call him daddy. What do you think about that? You think that's a warning sign?
I think it is, especially if the guy is not the father, because it's just weird. To me, it sounds weird. It sounds like it's a pre, it's like kind of premeditated, like she already has this idea in her head about what she wants to do, and if I were a guy, I would be ready to split, because I would think, what's going on? This is weird. Because this is, it's like setting this guy up for a strange situation. The guy is going to know that's not his kids, and the kids know. Because the real thing that usually happens is that the kids usually don't like the fact that their mom is seeing another guy, because they really want to be with their dad, their biological dad that they know, and they really want a relationship usually with their own real dad, not necessarily this new guy that comes in, and the kids may try to blame the guy that's dating the mom, for why the dad isn't there and stuff. And I think for a guy, if you're thinking about getting into a relationship with a woman like that, you need to be prepared for the fact that her kids are going to hate you, or they're going to try to blame you for the reason why, their dad and their mom are not together. They're going to think you're in the way, right. And I think that that's something that is unnecessary for a guy to really come in and take on and stuff like that. And as far as I'm concerned with the woman that had the kids, I think that she should have never had the kids to begin with, especially if she got the warning beforehand from the guy, I don't want kids. She should have went out and found somebody who wanted to have kids.
For the chicks out there, that's where you need to not think that you can change a man.
Yeah, and I think it's for the ladies that are watching, I think that I know that a lot of you girls or women, I know that a lot of you think that you're grown, and you think that you want to find Mr. Right, and you want to have your, Prince Charming and all that, and you got this picture in your head of, having the house with the white picket fence and the guy and the kids. You have this idea, and you want to build this life with somebody that, a guy that you like, that, y'all have awesome sex together and everything, and you think it's going to turn out great, but you find out that the guy doesn't want to have kids, and then that breaks everything up, right, and stuff like that, and you don't want to let go of that idea, so you think you're going to force the guy to do it, but, when you have the baby, you're surprised, and, that can really drive a wedge within your relationship, and I think it's childish to think that you can make somebody do something, because the guy can choose to leave or whatever. He can, and he doesn't have to stay around. Usually, if somebody wants, like if a guy wants to have kids with a woman, it's usually because he really loves her, and he loves the idea of having kids with her, and they want to build something together. That's usually why, because they love each other, right. But sometimes in situations, there's the case where a guy and a woman have a kid, and then after that baby, then they both hate each other, and I'm gonna say this, if you like, ladies, if you're in a relationship with a guy that you know, y'all already don't like each other, don't think about having no damn kid. That's just stupid. It's the dumbest thing ever you can do, thinking, oh, well, sex will fix it, or makeup sex is gonna make everything better. Okay, yeah, but what if you get pregnant? And then what if the guy doesn't want a kid? You know, I mean, the thing is that a father matters to, you know, a child, and a father needs to be in a child's life. That's very important. It is really important. You know, a lot of you ladies probably don't think that. You probably think, oh, well, I don't need him to be in the child's life or whatever. Well, consider if you have a son. What you gonna tell the boy about being a man? What you gonna tell him about having a penis? You ain't got one, right? So you don't know nothing about that. You know, there's a lot of things that women don't know about what the male experience is like. So if the little boy is growing up and he's having experiences of, you know, he's going through puberty, and he's, you know, going through things like masturbation or something, or, you know, maybe he's trying to make friends with other boys or something like that. A woman's not going to know anything about that, or what to say to the boy. She's not going to know anything about that.
That's
or
when
what to what I'm sorry. Also, what you know, what a boy should wear. You know what I'm saying? Where he's going from, you know, wearing the underwear to the boxers or something like that, or condoms or anything other shit. Ladies, if y'all think, you know, I'm for real, if y'all think that y'all can raise a boy and tell him what it's like to be a man, you're stupid, because you don't know nothing about that. Nothing. You know, it would be the same thing if you have a man who has a daughter or whatever, and he's raising his daughter, and then the daughter comes to him and asks him about having a period, or having breasts, or having a pussy. You understand? Or her having these, you know, about, you know, having her first, you know, a first kiss from a girl's, a lady's perspective, or how to wear a dress, or how to wear makeup. You know what I'm saying? It's like that. You know, you need the other parent to be around, specifically if the child is of the opposite sex, and, you know, that's important. And if you not of that sex of that child, you gonna have a disconnect.
That's where y'all gonna realize that there's two types of makeup sex. The makeup sex, which strengthens your relationship, and then the dumb makeup sex with no protection and no birth control. That's when you'll realize that you did the dumb makeup sex.
I think makeup sex, I know in the movies, it seems all hot and sexy when, you know, when you see the people going at it and stuff like that. It seems like that on pornos. It seems like that too. But here's something y'all probably don't realize when you look at pornos. Those people on pornos, they use forms of birth control. The guy's using a condom. A lot of them you will see, if you're paying attention to the guy's penis, a lot of them, he's wearing a condom, you know. And the woman, you may not see a woman necessarily being on birth control, but a lot of these women, they use the sponge, so it's like way in there so you don't really see it. Some of them might use VCF, or contraceptive film, that they put up the vagina or whatever, up to the wall of the closest wall of the cervix or something like that, or whatever. Some of them might be on birth control pills or something like that. They're using forms of birth control, because the reason you know this is because if you watch them in a lot of different porno episodes, you will notice that they don't get pregnant. And you up here wonder, well, dang, you know, the guy she was with did it in her, you know, did it in her vagina. Well, and you don't see her pregnant. Well, it's because she's on birth control. And I've seen a lot of pornos, the guys are wearing condoms, you know. And the guy will be using a condom, you know, with a woman, where he can feel a lot of, you know, the sensations, like the condom Durex Extra Sensitive, which may be something he may be using. Now, if you're going to be using condoms, I don't know about using Trojan, because those don't work. If you're trying to use the pull-out method, that don't work either.
Don't use the Trojan ecstasy. Please don't. I'm telling you right now, fresh out of the box, ain't broke. Don't use the ecstasy kind.
Yeah, it may seem like you think it's going to be ecstasy, but you know.
And if your condoms are constantly breaking, make sure you're using water-based lube, not oil-based. Oil-based deteriorates latex.
Yeah, and you have to be aware of that too, about, you know, doing certain types of things and stuff like that with reference to sex, you know. I mean, especially because, You know, I know that people just think, oh, all I got to do is just put this certain type of condom on, this lube, and they just think that or whatever. But like Anwan said, you have to be careful what kind of lubes you're using and stuff like that or whatnot too. And also with a person, you got to be careful and making sure you're with a person who has been tested. They've been tested for STDs, making sure the person doesn't have AIDS or anything like that. You know, there's been a lot of scares, not necessarily scares, but there's been a lot of things on, you know, the internet and social media where, you know, you have girls who are, you know, have AIDS or HIV or some STDs, and they know that they do, but they're just going on a vengeance and having sex with guys anyway, knowing that they have it because they pissed off or whatever because they just don't like men. And you have some men who are going around or walking around and they're getting with girls and they know they have HIV, they know they have AIDS, or they know they have some type of STD, or they have herpes, and they know that they have it, but they don't care. You know, they just about, you know, maybe the guy's about getting back at a woman. I mean, you really don't know, you know.
Yeah, talking about something. My pull-out game is strong. I get so sick of hearing guys saying that stuff. Your pull-out game won't be strong when she gets pregnant, though.
Yeah, specifically with the pull-out method. What a lot of guys may not really know about the pull-out method is that you can leak sperm, and there could be sperm in the clear liquid that leaks out of your penis, and you may not be aware that there's sperm in there. And if you haven't had sex in a while and the sperm builds up, and you know you're really, really full or something, that's when it can leak, and then that's how she can end up pregnant without either of y'all knowing.
Yep.
You know, and what I want to say about you know, the whole thing with pregnancy. Look, if y'all in a relationship and you know, one of y'all doesn't want to have the kid, you know, like the girl is carrying the baby. I know it's natural for a woman to want to carry the baby and the whole motherhood thing and thinking about she wants to have a baby. But a lot of women find out after they've had babies that it ain't for them and they don't want it, and that's why a lot of women end up, you know, some of them end up putting their babies in ovens or leaving them in dumpsters or doing all this crazy shit because they thought that they could do something like deal with motherhood, and they can't.
Michelle, I believe you're right. The reason why I say that is because by the time that we have the fire department giving women a chance to secretly put their baby inside of a compartment that detects heat, so that it automatically calls the police to put their baby up on an adoption center, if you got to go through that embarrassing moment like that, by the time they're doing that, that lets you know this is a big deal and it's gotten out of hand. Babe, why don't you go ahead and talk about, well, how would a guy know that if he's got a chick and he wants to get in a relationship with a chick who does have a kid, how would he know that it's not a chick who got in a relationship with a guy? What if it's a guy? What if that guy just up and gave her a baby, pretending like he's going to be there for the rest of his life and all that extra stuff, and there was a strong woman who got a car and all that extra stuff and got at home and was really working on herself, and then some dude just comes in because he wants 10 kids or he wants babies, and he just comes in, impregnates her, and then acts like he doesn't want the kid all of a sudden, and then just leaves because he wants to keep on making babies, and he don't even care.
He want to fill the world with a stupid
So
gene.
how would another guy?
He wants to fill the world with a stupid gene.
Yeah.
That's what my mom would call it, and stuff like that.
So how would a guy know about if that type of woman, if it's okay to get in a relationship with her? Because she's not gonna do all that signing up stuff, and she more than likely, you know, she probably not looking for help. She'll probably appreciate it, but if she's been taking care of her baby by herself this whole time, then obviously she ain't looking for help. But it would be, you know, it would be nice for her to be in a relationship again and get a little bit of help by the man's choice, but not by making him do it. How would a guy know that, you know, a woman that has a kid, she's beautiful, he thinks she's great, he wants to get in a relationship with her, but she got a kid? How does he know that she ain't gonna put him up for child support?
So there's two different women. And I think you could tell the women by their actions and how they act and stuff like that. I think you can tell. Now the woman we've been talking about in this video, earlier in this video, we were talking about the women who just have a baby and they had a baby regardless, and they don't care even if the father leaves or dies or something, and she's left with the baby, she's looking to sign the guy for child support. That's one woman. And those women are easy to detect, because a lot of times the guy is bottom priority when he's in a relationship with her and stuff like that. And you see the strange things like, oh well, her calling the guy daddy, or to call him daddy, or blah 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 blah, like that, or whatever. Now, what Anwan just asked me a question about is the independent woman who ends up getting a relationship with a guy who she thinks is a great guy. She sees him having a job. She thinks they have great chemistry and stuff like that. And the guy says he's going to build with her and everything like that, or whatever. They're going to have, a great relationship. But he ends up being, I guess you call it a deadbeat or something. He ends up just being a guy who just like,
no, right.
makes a deposit and leaves type of thing.
Right. Now see, and, that's why I'm talking about like, first she's talking about, that's a lady. I'm talking about a lady who's a strong, independent woman. That's a lady. That's why I said girl or a woman who has a baby in a relationship and they do that type of stuff. But a lady won't do that type of stuff. So that's who we talking about. A lady who got tricked by a dude.
You gonna let me get my point in?
Go ahead. I'm just clarifying. There's a difference.
Anyway, so specifically with the lady point of view that has a baby with a guy, and then he takes off and leaves, but she's the type to, she already has herself established, her own car, her own house, and is able to stand up financially and handle her responsibilities. She works and does stuff like that. I think it's sad for a woman in that case, specifically because she finds out the guy that she was with is a chump, he's an idiot, he's a deadbeat, and she got tricked, and I think it sucks because, the lady wants to believe that the guy was a good guy, just like he said he was. She wants to believe it because beforehand she saw him doing all these things. She saw him working and contributing, but then he takes off and leaves, and that sucks to me. And I think when a lady has a baby and she is now she has this baby and she's taking care of the baby, I think for a guy, it's okay to get into a relationship with a woman that is a lady. I think it's okay if she's holding down her own stuff and doing her own things and taking care of her kid. I think that's fine. But I think that what you want to do is, I think that you want to decide, if you are ready to kind of contribute to being around a child, and stuff. And it's a big responsibility. Now, the lady or the independent woman, she's not going to ask you to do anything. If anything, she's going to be buying stuff and stuff like that for her kid and stuff like that. One thing when you're getting in a relationship with a lady, particularly, and she has a kid, what I would say is that, yes, she will have the likelihood to be taking care of the concerns of her child and stuff like that because she's been doing it for a while, and so and she feels like she's the child's only support and stuff like that. She will seem very high stress and stuff like that, but I think she'll enjoy a company of a guy and stuff like that or whatever. I don't think she's going to be thinking that you're going to take on the role as the dad, because she knows that you're not the dad. She knows that you're a guy that she's dating and stuff. And I think with the lady, it's going to be more likely, she's going to want to take time to get to know you, first herself. She's not going to be likely to bring you around the kid really fast. It's going to be something where, she just gets to know you, goes on a few dates with you and stuff like that. And she will be likely to tell you up front that, I have a kid and stuff like that or whatever. I want to take this relationship kind of slow, because I'm kind of, trying to heal and see what I'm trying to do. And so she's not going to be likely to, jump in bed with you like that or whatever, because you got to remember she's healing from a situation. But yeah, she'll enjoy the company. She's not going to say you're supposed to play daddy or all that stuff. So with a lady, guys, be prepared for the lady to kind of take her time getting to know you. She's not going to be likely to have you around her kid up front at first, because she wants to see, how you are with her first, and, just take time easing into it, not necessarily jumping into it with you. Now the other woman, the one that's trying to just get you to hurry up and be a daddy figure and stuff like that, those women will hurry up and quickly have their kids around you. You know what I'm saying? Quick, and start trying to take pictures and invite you over and all this other stuff. Now, you got to be careful with some of those women, too. Because I think for some guys, unfortunately, you have women that have kids and stuff like that, and they got a plan to sign you up for child support. But at first, they play like they single at first. You know what I'm saying? They play it off like they single and stuff. And they kind of carried on like they single and all that and stuff. But then you start noticing that she started giving all these excuses about stuff, and you might call her and you start hearing kids in the background or something like that, or whatever, and stuff like that, or whatever. And then you kind of start wondering, like, does she have kids? And she might say, oh, that's my niece, or that's my nephew, or whatever, and what have you. She might have a plan, but she want to see if you're dumb enough. You're stupid enough to believe what she's saying. Guys, if you hear a woman who's giving excuses, you know what I'm saying, about stuff or whatever, and about why she's at first she was treating you great, but now she's not treating you real great and stuff, and then you find out she got kids, well, I say it's time for you to leave. It's time for you to run for the hills, in my opinion. Run. If you're a guy and you're getting into a relationship with an independent woman that has a kid, just know that developing a relationship with this type of woman is going to take time. And this type of woman is not going to have you around her kids already at first. More likely than not, if it's an independent woman, she's only going to have one kid. You know what I'm saying? Or she may have two kids. It may have depended on when the other guy just left. You know what I'm saying? Some women have been in a situation where they built a life with a guy, and they got the car, they just moved into a house and stuff, and then he takes off, and then she's left to try to hold everything up and stuff on her own. And if you have a woman that comes in with that type of situation and stuff like that, you may have to wait to kind of getting into like a more sexual type of relationship or whatever, because a woman who's independent is not going to necessarily be looking for you. She's not going to be looking to just necessarily like be ready to jump in bed with you. You know what I'm saying? Now, the woman who wants to collect child support from you, she might jump in bed with you real fast, because she's trying to get you to suck you in and stuff like that or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I think a messed up type of thing is if you got a guy, he's with a girl that wants to sign him up for child support, and she sleep with you, okay? And then the next day, you wake up, you stumble out of bed and stuff like that, and she, you walk out, and it's a party going on for her kid, you know what I'm saying? And you happen to, I'll get in the picture next to the kid, and then you don't know what's going on, and you snapped in a picture because you didn't know that her kid's birthday was the next day, and she's trying to jump you, trying to make you get in on that.
Had that plan from the jump.
Some women will do that. They will come out with stuff like that to try to suck you into it. You know what I'm saying? Or, oh, well, I need you to, could you help me with my kid for baseball practice or something? He got this baseball game tomorrow. Could you throw the ball with him, and she doing a video or something like that? Now, if that's a first date for a woman that's got a kid, no. Or she want to do a little picnic with her kid, and you just, it's the it's the first date. No, don't even do it.
She probably won't even think twice to throw in the Christian thing, because she know, man, oh, just have faith. Oh, because She know dang well that you gotta have faith in someone because you ain't got no evidence. You ain't gonna have no evidence with her either. So that's what she gonna tell your ass. Just have faith. Just have faith. I'm a Christian. You're a Christian. Just have faith. And she gonna keep on scamming you and scamming you and scamming you. Oh, you gotta have a blind faith. Yeah. So just like those emails and those spam you get, you keep on having a blind faith. How about you blindly sign up for those? Open up those spam emails. How about you have a blind faith doing that? You get scammed so quick. Your information gone. Social security numbers, all that. If you do that with a chick, same thing. Go ahead and have that blind faith if you want to. And she know that too. She know how to use that weakness.
I would like to talk about the part with the guy that has kids, but he appears single.
Yeah.
I think the guy. I think that specifically with the guy who appears single but he has kids. I think for a woman getting in a relationship with a guy that has kids, it sucks being the girlfriend to a guy that has kids because, like anyone said before, he's not going to be able to spend money on you. Y'all ain't going to be able to go on dates and stuff like that or go on trips and stuff. Y'all not going to be able to do that because he doesn't have the money, because of, the baby mama, wanting to collect money and shit like that and not do shit, I mean, it sucks being a woman. You really like this guy. You really want to go out with him and do stuff with him, but you can't. Because, he got kids. And he didn't plan on it with the other chick. It might have been a surprise to him or what happened. Or he might have been conned into it. And I think specifically for a woman, if you are going with a guy that's got kids, you got to remember there is another woman involved. And she's somewhere. And she might be likely to, get your phone number and call and cuss you out or show up at your house or something. Try to get the shit on World Star or whatever.
Oh, God.
That's
so the thing,
you got to be careful. If you're a lady, you dating a guy that's got kids. I'm not saying guys who have kids are bad. No, of course not. It don't mean they bad guys because they got kids. Of course not. But you got to remember, there's a woman in the wings somewhere. And she's jealous, and she's going to be jealous of you because you ain't got no kids. You the woman ain't got no kids, and she's jealous. And she want to do whatever she can to tear your shit up. And, of course, she's going to try to use the kids to try to get the dad away because, she's jealous of you. And she wish she can be in your place because you don't have kids. And she miss not having kids. She missed that free time. She missed it all now. And she wish she can be you, but she can't be. So she want to, try to make you miserable because she's miserable because now she got the kids. You know what I'm saying? The guy may not necessarily be the issue. He might be the kind of guy who he wants to be around his kids, but he can't because the mother's preventing him from seeing the kids. You know what I'm saying?
And
it might be that.
That happens a lot. I mean, because she never liked to do it anyway. And how many kids she have? 3. Why 3? Because 3 is the amount that she can get the taxes for. The tax money. 4? Nope. 5th? Nope. Only 3. That's why you see them walking around with that maximum amount of kids. It's just 3 kids. I mean, come on, put 2 and 2 together.
I think specifically, if you're a guy or a woman, and you're going to be getting involved with somebody who has kids, you got to prepare yourself for the idea that, you're going to have to be dealing with kids, and these kids are a responsibility, and you might love that person. And I know out of love, you want to show the person you love them, so you're going to try to be nice to their kids and do nice things and stuff, and you're going to try to do that. But I think you should really take some time and step back and think about, is this really the type of relationship that you want to get into? You do not owe it to that person to take care of their kids. You might love that person, but sometimes, if they got kids, sometimes you got to just say, you can be friends with the person, but, you don't want to get involved with the kids.
Let's elaborate on that part a little bit. If you are a guy and you are one of those type of guys that just want to have fun, okay, go to the bars and just kind of get your rocks off, get your needs met. Look, if you mess with a chick, if you don't want no kid, if you mess with a chick who already has a kid, if she says yes, she already has a kid, don't have sex with that one. Because if she gets pregnant, you know 100% what choice she already made. She has a kid. So she's more than likely not going to get any type of abortion or anything, or take no Plan B pill or none of that. She'll have the baby on you. 100% of the moms who have kids, you know what choice they already made.
I think specifically with, and I want to talk about something too, about something specifically for the birth control real quick. So
No.
Plan B, okay, with that, okay. If a woman, and this is, and I can say, elaborate for the ladies and also the guy. Plan B works like this. If, for example, let's say you're a guy and you with a chick, and the chick gets pregnant. If the chick is already pregnant already, Plan B is not going to, it's not going to work. You only, the woman would only be able to take Plan B if, for example, y'all had sex, and then, as a guy, you accidentally, came inside or whatever on accident. Then at that point, you would take Plan B after unprotected sex or something. If you think that the sperm came inside contact with the vagina or something like that, that's when the woman would take the Plan B. Not after she's already pregnant. It does not work after that. It's not going to work, okay? The only thing that you can do, like y'all can do or whatever, is next thing you can do is really just the abortion. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing. Thing about an abortion that's very beneficial is that if the woman's already pregnant, if she is, let's say, 3 weeks or so pregnant, she can go to Planned Parenthood and get an abortion. She can get, they might have her wait until she's about 8 or 9 weeks, most specifically 8 weeks or whatever, and then she can get the abortion. The thing about the abortion is the fetus or whatever, it is not alive. It is not a baby. It is just cells. It's not a baby. It doesn't cry. It's not, the sex is not determined, none of that. So you are not causing harm to a baby if there is an abortion. I just want to make this clear to people. You know what I'm saying? An abortion is not a bad or an evil thing. It is not. If both of y'all know that, kids ain't something y'all want to do and stuff like that, an abortion is a good thing to do. It's helpful for the woman, and it is also helpful for the guy, especially if y'all know that y'all not in a state to have kids. You know what I'm saying? It is a good thing to do, because at least, you know what I'm saying, if y'all relationship don't work out, at least y'all can walk and go y'all separate ways instead of being binded by a kid, because a child is a lifetime commitment. It's going to be around for, always 18 to 21 years going further. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be something. And that child is going to cost both of you guys money, time, you know what I'm saying? And, your dreams, your hopes, and a lot of other things. I know that there's things out here where people say, well, if you have a kid, you can still do things if, like, you single. It's not true.
Right.
It ain't true. I know you got this stuff on these, posters with these captions that a mother graduated with holding the baby hand, everything, whatever. Look, it ain't like that. Let's get real about what it is, okay? It is a situation that is real, you know what I'm saying, with a kid. You learn really quick, not just with the baby being, oh, the baby's cute. Think about when a baby ain't gonna be cute. Think about when it's going to spit up on you, when it's going to poop on you. Think about when it's going to be yelling, when you can't get no sleep, you got to go to work because you got to pay the bills and all that other kind of shit. Think about that. You know what I'm saying? I want people to know an abortion is not evil. I know you're going to have people trying to pressure you on stuff or whatever, but an abortion is something that is worth it. It is cheaper than raising a kid all the way up to 18 to 21 or going beyond that.
That's $270K for one.
Yeah, for one child, it costs $270,000 to raise them from birth all the way up to 21 or whatever.
So you're asking yourself, what's evil about that? So what is evil? If that's not evil, then what is? I'll tell you. I went through it. I'll tell you what's evil. Having a kid or kids during a time where you can't find no job, during a time where jobs are going out of business, during a time where a economic collapse is happening or it's going to happen, or during a time where you're already on food stamps, during a time where you're already on Section 8, where you can't take care of the kid. When I say take care of, let's go over what that means. Let's go with the most absolute basic thing that means. Feed it. Make sure that you have a home over its head. Rent. You can pay 3 times the rent or 2.5 times, whatever they require. If you can't feed it, if you can't provide the rent, the kid will appreciate you paying rent and you feeding it. You may not be able to afford. Electricity. Okay. Go to a restaurant. Make some peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Do something. Get food that you don't need a refrigerator. Okay. You may not have, hot water. Okay. Go ahead, warm it up in the pot. Give your kid a bird bath. Your kid will still be happy with you. Because once that kid experiences homelessness, what I went through, sharing a freaking last bag of Cheetos with my sister, having to walk at people's houses, not holding no signs, not once holding a sign, because you never know when the next meal gonna come. You walking up to people's houses. Can I spend the night here? Hey, I don't got no place to go. I'm just looking to get on my feet. Can I spend the night here? That's what they said. You spend the night at these strange people's houses. You don't know what type of creepy people they are, but you accept it. Why? Because you don't want to be out in no hailstorm. You don't want to be out freezing with the snow just dripping on you over and over and over like some Chinese water torture. Okay? You outside, the elements.
Yeah.
It's only the animals with the fur can survive these elements. We don't got that. We have skin.
And also, if you are homeless, you're out there, standing out at, you're out there at dark. You know what I'm saying? When you got people coming around, criminals and all kinds of stuff. And if you are a parent out there with a kid, you know what I'm saying, or whatever, or if you have more than one kid, you know what I'm saying, that's not the type of place to be having kids. And I know some people gonna say, I could just dump my baby off on somebody in my family. Well, here's the thing, people in your family might just say no.
For instance, you might have took a chance for college, and you might have went way somewhere else, way away from your family. And that's a lot of people, to be honest with you. Alright? They're not even around any family members. 5 hours away, 6 hours away from family. To take a chance at a job. Because they were told something like, you got to apply to places out of your city.
Yeah, and this is why I tell people, if you, and girl, these are, this is for a girl and a guy that's in a relationship or something else. I know.
Okay.
I just want to say that, if you're a girl and you're at college and you see that you come up pregnant and you are away from your family or something like that, and you find out you're you find out you're weeks pregnant, you know what I'm saying? If you find out that's the case, then, go ahead and get an abortion. You know what I'm saying? Don't, you might feel like it's bad, but imagine if you have a baby and then you end up having it and then everybody telling you a bad mother. Or you shouldn't have had the baby if you didn't know this or that or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Or if you and you're a young lady and, you with a guy and y'all a couple and stuff, y'all end up having a baby or something like that. Or y'all end up not having a baby, but basically y'all end up conceiving a baby and,
2 minutes.
yeah. Then, and you're a girl that's weeks pregnant, go ahead and get an abortion. It's okay to do that as long as you are less than, 9 weeks or so pregnant, then it's okay to get an abortion. It's totally worth it and it's better than, having to take on a child or anything like that.
And abortions cost like $400.
It's like, it's I think it's like it. I think it depends on where you are. It could be 400 to 600. But think about it. If you get that, it is worth it, because if you get that abortion, you can still continue on and y'all can still have a relationship. Now y'all may have a rocky road after that, but y'all can make it through that. But I mean, think about it. Bringing the kid into this world is very uncertain. You don't know what can happen the next day.
Especially as a black people, getting killed, whatnot. All right.
All right.
Well, that's your information. That's a lot of extra information besides just if you're thinking about getting a relationship with a kid, with a woman with a kid, or
a guy with
a guy with a kid. Like I said, with a guy, it's a lot harder to detect.
With the woman, it can be hard to detect with a woman too, specifically if she looks in shape.
Oh,
and
yeah,
she looks
I forgot
young,
all about
and
that.
she looks
Yeah,
like
she's right.
You got some women who don't look like they got kids, but they do.
Yeah.
Maybe they just keep themselves in shape and they
Yeah.
got long hair and they don't look like they got kids.
It only takes 9 months. I mean, I'm sorry. It only takes 90 days to get back in shape and look like that, like you never had a baby. So,
Yeah. All
y'all
right.
they really don't got any excuse for that. You'll know.
All right, guys.
Thank you. Thanks for watching.
Thanks. Bye, guys.
Y'all. Bye.